Hello, I'm Merritt Jano, Dean of the School of International and Public Affairs at Columbia University, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to the graduation ceremony for SIPA's exceptional class of 2021. We are thrilled that you have joined us wherever you may be as we celebrate our 2021 graduates and their remarkable achievement today. In a year of such extraordinary challenge, I'd like to first take a moment to recognize the many family members, friends, and loved ones who have helped our graduates reach this milestone. Thank you for your love, guidance, and support throughout their SIPA journey. When the class of 2021 first set foot on campus 2 years ago, no one could have expected the immense changes to come just a few months later in spring 2020, or the significant adjustments we would all be required to make up to this very moment. In many ways, the class of 2021 has borne the brunt of this global pandemic more than any other graduating class, shifting to online and hybrid instruction, returning to your hometowns or your home countries, living in a socially distanced and constrained environment, and many other personal and professional challenges. And yet, you so actively and wonderfully engaged with each other and with us as we built together a vibrant virtual community through pedagogy, webinars, convening, socializing, and so much more. We know it has been a very difficult period, and yet you have contributed and engaged and developed an intellectual community with us so vividly. Your achievement today only underscores the tremendous resilience, drive, and creativity you have demonstrated to us all. You inspire all of us, and we are so proud of you. You leave SIPA at a unique but challenging time in the world. Again, this can always be said, but it rings true today in a new and profound way. It is a moment filled with uncertainty, but also great promise of renewal and opportunity. It's a time when big shifts are happening in the world. We'll hear today from two remarkable speakers, former Secretary of State Madeleine Albright, former U.S. Attorney General Eric Holder, and each will consider some of these challenges and offer their own perspectives, and we thank them so much for joining us. Graduates, your SIPA experience has been unique in so many ways, but the bonds you have formed and the connections you have made will be lifelong, and you will only find they get richer over time. You will always be part of our community, and we know you will achieve remarkable things. We wish you every success in the future. Congratulations again.
Dean Janow, members of the class of 2021, and your loved ones. I'm so pleased to help you commemorate this landmark moment in your lives. As a former student and current professor, I have always loved commencement ceremonies, especially the awarding of diplomas, the lovely music and the multicolored academic robes. And what could be better than when the diploma and the robes are from Columbia? As you can see, I never miss an opportunity to wear mine. I regret, after this most harrowing of years, you're not able to celebrate in person. I speak for all in hoping that we are now on the path to recovery, and we will soon return not simply to normalcy, but to a renewed sense of optimism about freedom and justice worldwide. In that spirit, I offer my congratulations to this year's graduates for a job well done. Even though many of you already have embarked on your professional careers, earning a degree from SIPA is a major milestone. This is when you move from the long years of rehearsal and preparation to the prime time of doing. Now, I've given and listened to enough graduation speeches to know that every speaker says that the graduating class will inherit a complicated world. but in your case, it is really true. The obstacles to be overcome include economic disruptions caused by the virus, the looming catastrophe of climate change, the threats posed by cyber pirates and terrorists, a viper's nest of regional conflicts, and fueling them all, the unwelcome return of hyper-nationalism. In recent years, many heads of government have abandoned the idea of global cooperation and instead insisted on going it alone. They argued that interdependence is but an illusion, a theory cooked up by a foreign policy think tank to undermine national sovereignty and cause citizens to betray their own countries and identities. In many places, democracy is in decline and diplomacy is considered obsolete. Slowly but surely, too many people have begun to lose faith in the ability of free people to make progress together. This is not the first time such a cynical attitude has taken hold. It was also the case in the 1930s, the decade I was born. It led then, and with terrifying swiftness, to Holocaust and war. We must not let that happen again. Fortunately, there is an alternative, which is where you and the remarkable education you have acquired at SIPA come in. You have already been tested in a way that none of your predecessors have. You have shown the ability to deal with the unexpected and the unknown in a positive way by developing new ways of communication and by understanding that life is going to be different. So with the lesson of the pandemic fresh in our minds, you need to help all of us adapt and embrace a new reality while rejecting the myths that are being peddled in too many places around the world. For make no mistake, the cynics are wrong. Democracy, though imperfect, remains the best system of government ever invented. And the interdependence of peoples is not a fiction. What happens to any of us can affect all of us. And that is why there is nothing unpatriotic about striving to solve problems across international borders. There is, in fact, no better way to serve one's country and no better calling for you and your peers. Having grown up fluent in technology and with 21st century threats at the center of your thinking, you are better positioned than anyone to meet the challenges and seize the unlimited opportunities of the future. Yet it is true that both democracy and diplomacy can be frustrating. Both require that we re-examine our own assumptions, listen carefully to opposing views, and accept compromises that may be less than popular. You are no strangers to frustration, and there is scarcely a peril your generation will face that cannot be eased through effective joint action involving democracies and countries willing to partner with them. In saying this, I emphasize that defending freedom and building bridges among nations are duties, not just for government. As Secretary of State, I turn for advice to scholars, business people, labor leaders, and activists of every description. And I learn every day of the connections that exist between education and smart choices on the environment, between equal rights for women and the reduction of poverty, between socially responsible investments and the creation of jobs, and between support for democratic values and the building of sustainable peace. Even 20 years after leaving office, I find that I am still learning, most of all from the students I encounter in virtual classrooms and election halls. I'm reminded all the time of the words of the poet Robert Frost, who once wrote, "The older I get, the younger are my teachers." What you, my teachers, instruct me today is that progress is in the work of many hands and Zooms. And that is why there is no limit to what we might be able to accomplish on a globe where cooperation and shared learning are present at all levels. But if we abandon that hopeful vision, we will see every issue through the lens of the demagogue and live as prisoners of fear. Members of the class of 2021, I am now in my 9th decade on Earth. I've seen too much suffering to be naive, too much decency to despair, and more than enough surprises to want money back on my crystal ball. Ultimately, our lives boil down to choices based on partial knowledge, mixed motives, and qualities inside of us which we ourselves not always fully are aware of. The good news is that we have the power to choose. We also have the power to change. So when the cynics tell us that our ideals are out of date, we reply that the future is ours to shape, and it is their choice whether to come along or step aside. My friends, I have no desire today to place all of the world's problems on your shoulders, but that is exactly where they are about to land. If I were meeting in person, I would urge you to look for inspiration to those seated right next to you, your fellow graduates, and to have confidence that no matter how hard the struggle, you will have the best of company along the way. Though we are apart, I still have faith that you will lift each other up and keep each other strong. The past year has been a time of testing for us all, but it has also been a period of growing and becoming. It has reminded us that democracy is fragile, but also very resilient, and so are you. Ahead of you now is another set of tests, even more severe, even more important. The question arises, are you equal to the challenge? I know that you are. Good luck and go get them.
Thank you all, faculty and staff, friends and relatives, member of the broader Columbia family, for inviting me to celebrate with you this evening. And congratulations, class of 2021. You know, in a time of uncertainty and loss, it's wonderful to share in such a joyful occasion. And it's such a privilege to be among the first to welcome you to the ranks of Columbia University alumni. Now, I'm willing to bet this isn't quite how you pictured your graduation, but as much as I'd rather be with all of you in person in Morningside Heights, the truth is that these circumstances, the trying and tragic year that we've had, the unsettled world that you're graduating into, all of the reasons that we can't be together are the same things that present the class of 2021 opportunities for greatness. Now, I know you didn't sign up for this, to put it mildly, but the timing of a graduation, the fact that 2021 is the year printed on the very expensive piece of paper that you will receive today, will define your generation's place in history. And make no mistake, graduates, history is watching. Rarely ever, and certainly never in my lifetime, have we faced a moment like this one, a time of global crisis and American estrangement, an American nation too often divided against itself, riven by intentional lies, distorted by intolerance and mistrust. A world beset by challenges old and new, from armed conflict to climate change, that threaten the international order. The strength of all free and open societies, even the future of humanity itself. Now, no one can speak to the geopolitical landscape with greater authority than Secretary Albright, with whom it's an honor to share this virtual stage. But the question that looms over everything in this moment, and the one that I invite you to focus on tonight, is what our countries, our societies, our new normal will look like as you leave Columbia, step into an uncharted future, and take charge of a world that will never be the same. Now, what's at stake in this moment, your moment, is the fundamental character of this nation, the promise of democracy itself, and the interconnected fates of all open societies all around the world. Will we emerge from this pandemic stronger and more united, or weaker and more divided? Can we engage in a constructive dialogue about the hardest issues like democracy, injustice, race, and policing? Can we stem a rising tide of hatred and extremist groups and hold our leaders accountable when they fan the flames of xenophobia? Or will we keep descending into separate echo chambers, growing more and more fractured against ourselves? As we rebuild our economies, will we race back to the same old ways of doing business that have supercharged inequality, both here in the United States and across the globe? Or can we reimagine and adapt in pursuit of better new-collar jobs, increased economic security, and a more inclusive model of prosperity? Most fundamentally, from the ashes of today's scorched earth politics, can we transform government and civil society to be more responsive, more mutually respectful, and more representative of the populations they serve? Or will voter suppression, gerrymandering, and conspiracy theories pave the way to a darker and less democratic future? Graduates, I want to be very clear. These questions are not rhetorical. No outcome is foreordained. Progress is not guaranteed. This isn't a thought experiment. It's your breathtaking opportunity. Rarely in human history has a generation been called to reimagine and to rebuild so much of our society at such scale. So class of 21, I'm not asking you to speculate about the future. Starting right this moment, it is your responsibility to shape it. This is a class of just over 700 graduates from more than 70 countries. And before you know it, and trust me, it will feel like the blink of an eye. You'll be CEOs and mayors, entrepreneurs and nonprofit leaders. You'll be legislators, civic leaders, cabinet members, even a future president or prime minister. None of this is out of reach because Columbia graduates, your predecessors and mine, have gone on to do all of these things. And not a single one of them was any more qualified or better prepared than you are today. What will the class of 2021 contribute to this legacy? What will you achieve that earlier generations could scarcely imagine? Now, I said a moment ago that you didn't sign up for this, but we all know that's not quite true. No one could have foreseen the confluence of crises that have defined your time at Columbia. But here's the thing, class of 2021, extraordinary times produce extraordinary people. The fact that you chose to enroll in the world's preeminent school of international and public affairs, and you are now graduating into this crucible, means that you're right where you belong and right where we need your energy, your ideas, your leadership the most. Graduates, I look forward to all that you will do and achieve from this moment on. Rise to the challenges. Be unafraid to confront untruths and misuses of power. Use your talents and learned skills to usher in a new age of tolerance, political growth, and shared prosperity. All of this is possible if you will lead. Our nation, our world is counting on you. I am counting on you. So congratulations once again, and Godspeed, class of 2021.
Congratulations, SEPA class of 2021. We did it. Not too long ago, we were burning the midnight oil, sitting in Lehman Library, poring over microeconomics and quantum problem sets. But here we are today, ready to take on the most complex challenges of the world. Successfully completing SEPA's academic requirements in any given year is a challenge. We did better. Amidst a global pandemic, we invested the physical, intellectual, and emotional rigor needed to survive and even thrive in this new reality that was forced on us by COVID-19. We did it individually and we did it collectively. I want to take this moment to specially recognize my fellow students of color, first-generation college graduates, and peers from marginalized communities that are graduating as SEPA's class of 2021. Coming to SEPA has been a long and an arduous journey for some of us. It is the result of many intergenerational struggles and incremental progress made possible by those who came before us. Today, we remember them. We honor them, even as we realize that we are indeed our ancestors' wildest dream. Here are 3 reminders that I would like you to take away. After we receive our Columbia SEPA diploma, we might frame it and hang it up on the wall. I urge my colleagues to do more. Pin the essay you wrote as part of your SEPA application next to the diploma. That essay is an unadulterated version of yourself, of our vision for a better world. Let that statement of purpose be a lifelong reminder of the commitment we made even before we entered the halls of SEPA. Let that be our calling to use what we have learned here to center justice for the most vulnerable people and communities. In the words of Toni Morrison, when you get these jobs that you have been so brilliantly trained for, just remember that your real job is that if you are free, you need to free somebody else. If you have some power, your job is to empower somebody else. We live in a world where the systems of power in general and public policy in particular have been designed to maintain a status quo. Last summer, in the aftermath of the murder of George Floyd, America and the rest of the world were once again forced to reckon with the evils of racism. The COVID-19 pandemic has also laid bare the structural inequalities in our societies. We are living in a world where authoritarian leaders across the globe are working in full force to curb democratic freedoms and the fundamental rights of people. It is therefore upon us to demonstrate moral courage to do the right thing, to stand against injustices in our places of work and in the communities we call home. Moral courage is hard, but our training at CEPA was not to do the easy thing or remain apolitical or to let fear shape our choices. Our time at CEPA, our academic rigor, our friendships, and our interactions have prepared us to speak up, to challenge status quo, and to make change possible. In the words of Audre Lorde, when I dare to be powerful, to use my strength in the service of my vision, then it becomes less and less important whether I'm afraid. Lastly, let us remember that the education we receive at CEPA is a privilege. It is not accessible to many who may share our aspiration for a better world. They may not have the financial resources, social capital, and the support of family and friends like we do. My hope for each and every one of us is that we use our privilege and the pedigree of CEPA education in full measure to be agents of change in the communities we serve, to uplift the voices that are being left out of policy making, and even make our own school more accessible and equitable for future cohorts. I conclude with the words of one of Columbia's most consequential alumni, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, the architect of India's Constitution. My final words of advice to you are: educate, agitate, organize. Have faith in yourself. With justice on our side, I do not see how we can lose our battle. The battle to me is a matter of joy. The battle is in the fullest sense spiritual. There is nothing material or social in it. For ours is a battle not for wealth or for power. It is a battle for freedom. It is a battle for the reclamation of the human personality. So congratulations, CEPA class of 2021. Remember your commitment, demonstrate moral courage, and deploy your privilege to create a better world. I look forward to scaling greater heights of personal and professional excellence along with you. Thank you and good luck.
Dear Dean General, faculty, alumni, parents, friends, distinguished guests, and the entire class of 2021. It's my honor to represent all CEPA students in giving this graduation speech today. I'd like to start by thanking all our CEPA professors and staff. We greatly appreciate your hard work, your invaluable contributions, and your dedication to CEPA, the world's most global policy school. Let me start with a story that I think is emblematic of our school. Early last year, I was one of 20 CEPA students who went to Gaziantep, a small border city between Turkey and Syria. We were there for CEPA's first global immersion course dealing with the Syrian refugee crisis. Headlines became real and personal for us when listening to refugee stories of how they and their families walked across the desert over 2 weeks to enter Turkey, barely escaping with their lives. Their stories made me realize this was not theory. This was the real world, and CEPA connected us. CEPA also connected us when Zoom meetings became the new norm. The class of 2021 is a really special cohort. We had a normal in-person CEPA Live for less than a year and then moved online. More than 300 students joined class from all over the world with 100 online courses and countless CEPA events. The pandemic may have limited our travel, but it never limited the closeness of our community. Same as all of you, my 2 years at CEPA were also highly rewarding and memorable. I worked with classmates from all over the globe on topics ranging from human rights, migration, sustainable development to policy making. CEPA provided me a solid platform to explore all my fields of interest and encouraged me to try them, to do what I want to do. CEPA is also not only where theory meets practice, it's an idea lab as well, incubating innovative projects and grooming tomorrow's global leaders. But today, we celebrate our graduation virtually and prepare for the next chapter of our lives. Our future doors are waiting for us to knock and open them. No one knows what we will face in the future, whether it's sunshine or storm, throne or glory. But what we learned in SIPA has already equipped us to face all the challenges and difficulties with confidence and determination. SIPA is a place where theory meets practice. SIPA is a place where the world connects, preparing us for the next journey, making this world a better future. Let's celebrate and toast this moment. Let's keep on connecting and change the world together. What can be, with the right spirit, will be. Congratulations, class of 2021. See you around the globe. Thank you.
Studying for a PhD in any subject can be an arduous undertaking, but taking on a PhD in sustainable development at SIPA is especially demanding and isolating. We require that our graduates have deep knowledge of both a social science discipline and a natural science discipline. To succeed at this, when your final year is made doubly difficult, challenging, and isolating by COVID-19, is a remarkable achievement. I'm tremendously proud of our graduating PhD students. They are Sandra Aquila, whose dissertation is titled Essays in Health, Development and Environment. She will take up a postdoc at UC San Diego, and from there, an assistant professor position at the University of the Andes. Raimundo Otal, whose dissertation is titled Too Close and Too Soon. Raimundo is still considering his options after graduation. Sandra Baki, whose dissertation was titled Human-Environment Interactions, Microbes, Forests and Climate. Sandra will be joining the World Bank as an economist. Zihan Chu, whose dissertation is titled Ideology, Behavioral Decision-Making and Sustainable Development. He has a postdoc in behavioral decision-making at UCLA. Josephine Gantois, whose dissertation is titled All Things Plants. She will have a postdoc at the University of British Columbia. And finally, Sherry Wang, whose dissertation is titled Essays in Energy, Economics and Industrial Organization. She will be an economist at Christensen Associates, an energy consulting firm. So congratulations to you all and best wishes on your next steps. And please remember to write home.
Dear MPA graduates, congratulations on completing your degree at SIPA. It feels like only yesterday that you were getting to know one another and starting your SIPA education in the politics of policymaking classrooms. Over the past 2 years, it's been a real privilege to see you share your creativity, your deep knowledge, and your dedication to improving the conditions of the world, often starting right here in our own SIPA community. I've seen you write, debate, research, and organize in and out of the classroom, and in the process, hone the skills that you will bring to policy problems in the careers that lie ahead of you. The crises we now confront in the pandemic and beyond demand all of those skills from our policy professionals and leaders. Indeed, in this past year of the crisis, we've seen how essential it is to have talented, compassionate, and evidence-grounded leaders in government, the private sector, and civil society. I am so proud and heartened to know that you will be serving your communities and your countries in the years to come as those very leaders. Congratulations again, and please keep in touch.
Congratulations to the spectacular 21st graduating class of the EMPA program. We're so proud of your most impressive academic achievement while also managing work, family, and the significant obstacles created by COVID. Your leadership made a significant positive impact for so many people. In a crisis, leaders should communicate constantly. Communication is essential for creating collaboration, coordination, and effective management. Constant communication can also overcome irrational fear and dispel unfounded rumors. As Franklin Roosevelt famously said, the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Leaders must act as soon as it is prudent to restore normalcy, pursue justice, and initiate the long process of restoration and prevention against future crises. Sharing credit is also what great leaders do. A key element of the EMPA curriculum focuses on enhancing leadership skills. You were all leaders in some capacity when you joined our EMPA family. Together, over the past few years, we've learned to lead with a little bit more skill. There are better days ahead, and you will help make that so.
MDP Class of 2021, congratulations on your graduation. You came to SEPA and to the MDP program with an unbridled passion to make this world a better place. Your passion was never in doubt. What we could not predict was how you would respond to the uncertainties, the hardships, and the personal tragedies of this past year. It would be so easy to retreat into self-pity, to blame others, and to ignore those core values of empathy, compassion, and service that brought us all together. But instead of stepping back, you stepped forward. You refused to be a spectator. You refused to be a pessimist. You have each drawn on that unconditional passion that we had so admired. You've shown true grit in the pursuit of equitable and sustainable development. The world is now ready for you. The world needs MDPs like never before. Extraordinary times demand extraordinary people. MDP Class of 2021, with your knowledge, your skills, your networks, your creativity, your compassion, your courage, and your can-do attitude, the world can build back better and be ready to face and overcome even greater challenges ahead. I truly believe that, and you can count on SEPA and the MDP program to be there to support you.
Congratulations to SEPA's 2021 class, and most particularly to the talented and diverse PEPM class of 2021. Every year I tell the PEPM class that this will be the most challenging year of their lives. But this year, well, what can I say? Challenging doesn't really come close. Sometimes it's just been hard and even sad. But what's been so amazing to me is how all of you rose to the occasion. You opted in for a policy program and you managed to thrive in spite of it all. The economic world that you are walking into has changed almost beyond description in the last 14 months. Countries have tried to cushion the blow of the pandemic for their citizens, financially, economically, but it's been a huge challenge, most particularly for the countries that can bear it the least. And those countries are the focus of the PEPM program. Big policy questions are ahead too. How to restart economies and industries, how to tackle the long-run consequences, both of paying for past economic policies and providing opportunities for the future. Many of you will play roles trying to answer those questions. And that's wonderful. That's what SEPA is all about. Doing so has never been more critical to the future prosperity and stability of the world. So again, I say congratulations, but also get going. There's a lot to do.
We created the MPA in Environmental Science and Policy program nearly 2 decades ago to educate sustainability professionals capable of translating scientific knowledge into the policies and management practices required to ensure an environment that's safe for all life, including our own. Today, the class of 2021 is graduating into a world where sustainability professionals have never been more needed and where our skills have never been more important. A class born in the midst of the greatest health crisis in a century, but with determination, great ability, and the deep sense of mission required to meet the challenge of our era. The issues of planetary preservation include combating climate change, ecosystem destruction, loss of biodiversity, and of course, protection from pandemics and other forms of disease. While the world seems to be virtual today and time seems to be standing still, we know better. And we know that soon we'll be engaging with the great challenges that brought us together here at Columbia University in the city of New York. I'm deeply proud of this class, the class of 2021, and the community you created, even at great distance, and the larger community of SIPA graduates you now join. I look forward to the day when we could all meet together, raise a glass, and toast the incredible and singular class of 2021.
The Masters in International Affairs, or MIA, was established to prepare students to address issues that are not only critical, but that can only be addressed effectively and equitably by nation-states acting together for a common cause. You arrived here with a yearning to change the world. The MIA curriculum has provided you with a way of seeing the world from other people's and nations' perspectives, including in their own language, of understanding how the world came to be the way it is, of imagining how it could be better, and of knowing how to design institutions and devise policies that will make it better. You are graduating as the world emerges from a global crisis. I know this time has been difficult for you personally, but this crisis is also a reminder of why you came to SIPA and why the world needs you. So enjoy this day. You deserve this. You can even take a few more days off. But after the celebrations are over, take the conviction that brought you to SIPA and the education you now have and use it. Use it to make a difference. Speaking on behalf of all the SIPA faculty, I want to say that it has been a privilege for us to teach you. Congratulations, MIA class of 2021. Congratulations and good luck.
Congratulations to the SIPA class of 2021. Now that you are officially a SIPA alumni, I hope that you will stay connected with the SIPA community, and I look forward to seeing how each and every one of you will make a positive impact on our world. Congratulations, graduates.